crypto in 2024, I believe, is going to be an incredibly powerful year.
Yeah,
and
I think you're right.
And it's because of an alignment. We have this celestial alignment of all the things, all the cycles. So we have the 4-year cycle in Bitcoin, right? The halving happens in April, early May, depending on the blocks. But that's going to happen. We've got this wave of liquidity that's about to be unleashed with the approval of the ETF. We've got this cyclical wave of it looks like the economy's slowing, therefore the Fed's going to go back to accommodation, which will devalue the dollar more, which means if we price Bitcoin in dollars, the price of Bitcoin goes up. I mean, that's just the way it works.
Chief Investment Officer and hedge fund founder Mark Yusko believes that crypto is about to go exponential. He believes the confluence of events, including both the spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF and the Bitcoin halving, is going to fuel over $300 billion worth of capital coming into the space, the biggest wealth creation event in the shortest amount of time in history. Yusko believes that 2024 could mark the year when crypto goes fully mainstream. Thousands of institutional investors are expected to join the space following the SEC's anticipated approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF on January 10th. Yusko predicts that Bitcoin and other crypto assets are going to be pushed to record highs in 2024 and also completely revolutionize the entire financial industry. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video where Yusko explains why the adoption of Bitcoin is playing out exactly like the adoption of the internet and it's just as transformative. Also guys, only a small percentage of my viewers are actually subscribed. If you enjoy finance content, consider subscribing or liking the video. It's free and you can always change your mind. Now here's Mark Yusko with his 2024 crypto outlook.
We've got a technological wave where 650,000 people were laid off from big tech. That's a lot. And it turns out some of them don't have enough money to never work again. Some do, but many don't. And turns out some of them are like really smart. And so they are starting new companies and in these cycles, post downturn. So everyone says, well, we didn't have a recession. Fine, you can believe that. I don't really care. 2022 was as much a recession as 2001, right? We had 2 negative quarters. We had 1% growth for the year. That's a recession. Now you don't want to call it a recession because you juiced the employment numbers. I don't really care. But post 2001, 2002, 2003, were some of the best vintages for business formation, venture capital, innovation. And it's because during those downturns, people get displaced.
Right.
And turns out, most powerful force in the universe, not Bitcoin, I mean, that's close, but no, I'm just kidding, is human creativity. Human creativity is unbelievable. And actually, the reason I am the most excited about Bitcoin, I'm excited about other things in digital assets, but Bitcoin in particular, and I'm stealing this directly from Jimmy Song, but Jimmy talks about if you get paid in fiat, you're a slave. And it's a really politically charged word, you're not supposed to use it, but you are, right? You're a slave. Why? Because the government can steal the wealth back from you through devaluation. If we migrate to a deflationary currency like Bitcoin, and you got paid in Bitcoin, you're no longer a slave. You unshackle yourself. And what that does is it unleashes human creativity because you no longer have to work your slave and job, right? It's the Bachman-Turner Overdrive song, and quit your slave and job and get your pay, or start your slave and job and get your pay, right? That goes all the way back to the 70s. They've been talking about this. And so people knew that it was debt slavery and fiat slavery, but we didn't know how to break out of it because we needed the money to buy the food and pay the bills. Well, now if you can have an asset that actually appreciates as the dollar devalues, you have a store of value, and you can take time to think, to create, and not everybody will be good at it, but the ones that are, I think it unleashes amazing potential. And the thing that gets me excited, and why I call it the truth net, is the trust industry has existed for 838 years. So the Medicis formed these first banks. They stole the idea from the Portuguese monks, the Knights Templar, and they created fractional reserve banking. Okay, great. Fractional reserve banking has had a great run for 838 years. And it doesn't mean that it necessarily has to go away, but the idea of two ledgers controlled by someone that we trust to oversee it, right? And that we pay money to. So $7 trillion gets extracted from the global system for trust, right? To verify that my account has my amount of money in it. That when I transfer it to you, the auditors come in and say it happened. Or the broker makes sure that my security is where they say it is. All of that trust can be replaced with truth. Because if we have a blockchain that says Mark has a Bitcoin, I don't need JP Morgan or Deutsche Bank or any broker or any accountant or any lawyer or anyone. It's there. It's truth.
However,
and if we liberate $7 trillion, just think about this. If we liberate $7 trillion,
and it's going back to the people. It's
goes
going back to the people that are operating,
But what will they do with it? They'll invest it. They'll create. The internet was fundamental in that it changed the availability of information. Information became bi-directional for the first time. And look, we can go all the way back in history. From, in the earliest days, the church had the monopoly, right? They owned everything. They were in charge of everything. And us plebs went once a week to church. We couldn't read and write, and we listened, and they told us what to think, how to think, what to do, where to go, who to pay our taxes to, work the land as a serf. And it wasn't a really great existence, but it was better than, perishing. So we struggled through it. The printing press busted that monopoly wide open. Because now you could educate people. You could teach people. You could distribute information. You didn't have to listen to the propaganda coming from one pastor. You could actually hear what was going on somewhere around the world through a letter. It took days and weeks and months, but it busted that monopoly. So then what happened? The media took over. And the media, either state-owned or state-controlled, right? We always say, China has state-owned media. I mean, different than ABC, NBC, CBS, saying the same talking points. I mean, have you ever watched, I don't watch the shows on Sunday, but I love when they do a compilation of all three networks, the people are saying the exact same words, like the same word. But then what happened? The internet busted that monopoly, right? Yep. What you guys do day in, day out is real journalism, right? It is it's talking to sources. It's having dialogue and debate in search of truth. It's not, putting propaganda out. It's not creating fake news, right? Call it what you want, or alternative facts. I'm like, no. There are facts. There are only facts. There are opinions. There's lots of opinions, but there are no alternative facts. There's one set of facts. But opinions are fast and furious. But now we have a platform, the internet, where information became bidirectional. And I use a simple example of Milei getting elected down in Argentina. In the old days, if I wanted to know about the Argentinian election, I had to wait for New York Times to send a reporter to BA, write a story, send it back to New York, get it edited. 3 days later, it shows up on the 17th page of the New York Times, and I got to physically find it. Okay? Right. Now, I can go onto Twitter and watch a Periscope of people standing in line chanting his name, like that dude's going to win. So that bidirectionality busted the monopoly. And where did all the market cap of the big asset or the big content owners go? To the streamers, to the independents. And so now information busted the media monopoly and the commerce monopoly.
Yeah.
Because Amazon is a better solution than mom and pop stores. And yes, it's sad that mom and pop stores get whacked by Amazon, but there's something to be said of not having to drive all over town to get the toilet paper that I know I'm going to need, and it just shows up in my house. That's just a superior way.
Agreed.
And I still like to shop. I love to shop.
But once in a while, you like to shop.
Once in a while, not every day, right? And not for the stuff that I know, like toothpaste. I don't want to shop for toothpaste. just want it to show up in my house. And so, but now we have this technology that is busting the last monopoly, the trust monopoly, the bank monopoly. And they're terrified of it. And I understand that you're terrified of it. I would be terrified of it too, because
they grew up in a generation. It was the greatest economy that they ever built in human history. That's tough to let go. But change is inevitable.
I piss off the maxis when I say this. I actually applaud the fractional reserve bankers.
Okay.
I believe fractional reserve banking is why we're able to do this right now. Why we don't spend all our time foraging for food and trying to survive, and why we have leisure time, and why we have intellectual time, and why we have productive time, because fractional reserve banking takes the assets of a community and makes them more powerful. Okay? And people can say, no, it's a bankrupt system. Like, yes, it is. But it works. Now, you can abuse it, like Lehman and global financial crisis, and then it breaks down. But the core elements of 10 to 12 times levered fractional reserve banking, I believe, separates the great from the lesser. And I ask people all the time, name a country you would live in that either does not have or has a poorly functioning fractional reserve system.
You wouldn't.
I'll wait, no. Right? Because there isn't one. You're going to go to Democratic Republic of Congo? Not by choice. Not by choice. And that's not no offense to the people that live there, but I'm not moving there by choice. No. And I'm not going to Venezuela. As beautiful as Venezuela is, I ain't moving there. No. So I want a good system. But that system is inferior to the Bitcoin standard, where now we have a triple entry accounting system instead of a dual entry system, where I don't have to trust JP Morgan or Bank of America with my wealth. I don't have to ask permission.
So there's Chief Investment Officer and hedge fund founder Mark Yusko with his predictions for the crypto world. Yusko's belief in the exponential growth of cryptocurrency, spurred by a series of pivotal events including the launch of a Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF and the Bitcoin halving, highlights a potential influx of over $300 billion into the space. This could very well be the largest wealth creation event in the shortest amount of time in our history. Yusko's vision of 2024 as a landmark year for crypto, with it going fully mainstream and attracting thousands of institutional investors following the SEC's anticipated approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF, sets the stage of unprecedented growth. His prediction that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies will reach new heights in 2024, fundamentally revolutionizing the entire financial industry, is a perspective worth pondering. Are you ready for the crypto wave? Let me know in the comments. Anyway guys, hope you all enjoyed today's video and that provided you with some value. I'll see you all in the next one, and as always, all the best.